And I want to show you a little something here. If you look at the map today, what you're looking at, all these little splotches, they're little pieces of energy. And so you can see there's one here, there's one here. Anywhere you see this blue or green, these are all tiny pieces of energy. And so that's why we'll see these thunderstorms coming through that Kelly was talking about. Why is tomorrow's severe weather threat greater? Because we have a bigger piece of energy that's sliding east, and can you see how it's more in one vicinity? You have one bigger piece of energy coming in, opposed to little blips here and there. That is going to kick things off for us. That's one of the reasons we're going to see more intense, but it comes in later in the day. So we have deeper shading of red here on our map tomorrow. Hail and damaging winds. We're going to see both of these entities tomorrow. And listen, you can't even rule out a tornado twisting up or two. So you have to keep that in mind. But watch, we're going to pick up where Kelly left off. Here are those clusters of thunderstorms, some of those little bits of energy I showed you, right? Those pop off. And then as we head into the afternoon hours, you're like, Abrams, 1, 2 o'clock, everything should be popping. It does, give it a minute. You see some of it, but then the bulk really comes in. Notice that as we head more around 7 p.m. because you get that energy to come in, lift up the atmosphere. There's a lot of instability. It continues overnight. So don't think we lose the sun and we're going to lose the storms. As we look through our forecasts tomorrow into Sunday, there's flash flooding possible with some of these heavier showers. The big stuff comes in for Indianapolis a little bit later in the evening, more 10, 11 o'clock. So if you have plans, then you might get wet. Sunday, it now pushes from essentially the Mississippi River all the way to the mid-Atlantic, Jordan.
Well, we had storms absolutely pummel the Denver area.
Bonfire is a great way to get together with friends and family over the holiday weekend. So we want to take a look at your bonfire forecast presented by Hershey S'more. We're doing a little glamping with the dress and the heels today and our forecasting. But who doesn't love a good bonfire with the s'mores over it? Even if you have warm temperatures, right? It doesn't stop anybody from getting that perfectly roasted marshmallow. There's so many different techniques. Some people put it in and let it go on fire, like a little burnt. I like to do like the slow method, not too much in the fire. Some people take that burnt shell off of the marshmallow and then put it in. Anyhow, there's so many different ways that you can do it, and we will see sunshine. You don't have to worry about any rain for it as we work our way into Providence, Rhode Island, where our temperatures are a little bit more comfortable, right? We're a little bit farther north, and the humidity not as bad either. And we will also see phenomenal s'more-making weather into Rochester, Minnesota. But notice how our temperatures have warmed up here in the upper Midwest. Welcome back into America's Morning Headquarters, a derecho marching through the Midwest. Look at this time lapse. We had shelf cloud coming in.
Wait for it, because it's like, doesn't look like much, and then it's all, oh, it's right on top of us. So
what's happening right now is the winds are going, you got a lot going on. The winds are coming down and out from the storm, and then they're going up and over that way. So you get this little shelf. Right. That happens from the winds going like that. A mothership here. We had gusts over 80 miles an hour.
And then you're in it.
We had hail, big time hail. I saw a cornfield that was flattened by the storm system. It was really rough.
Because we need the rain. We got satellite imagery too. Look at it from a top-down approach. Look at the bubbling nature. Obviously, this is sped up, but this crossed over several states. You definitely had a lot of wind damage that came out of this, like Stephanie was talking about. And unfortunately, we got a chance to maybe see more form today.
Yeah.
I hope it's not another derecho, but still, we could be looking at damage either way.
Even if it's not a derecho, Kelly, some of these just bigger clusters of thunderstorms, because there's very specific parameters for a derecho, right, with the length and the derecho, all these things. But you could just have a big cluster of thunderstorms do the same.
Yeah, I mean, high wind and hail, that would be the name of the game.
I have to play that song all day, every day.
Welcome to Electric Avenue.
It's on repeat.
And then we'll take it higher, something like that, right? Welcome into this Friday edition of Pattern. This is the first climate change talk show. I'm Steph Abrams.
And I'm Jordan Steele. We're going to take a look at today's hot topics. Going eco-friendly.
Let's do it here. An eco-friendly electric company is putting
This is how much it is. This is how much you'll save. It'll take you 10 years to pay this whole thing off.
I maybe need to go on the site.
It's so cool.
Because I'm all about unplugging everything, because there's still a current going if it's plugged in, even though you're not using it.
I didn't know this. They have smart outlets.
But does it make that much of a difference to unplug all of your appliances?
I mean, over time. I think it was like $12 a month.
That's a lot. That's more than I thought it would be. I thought it would be like 10 cents.
Yeah, no, it was.
I have my husband, you know, I leave obviously way earlier than him in the morning, and he turns the air off. I'm like, can you just turn it way up or just turn it off? But I'm not sure that I'm seeing a difference in my bill. Maybe I do need one of those.
Because then you could set the time. When he leaves, it goes here. And then when you guys come back, it'll be back down
I feel like
to
my
here.
bill is just always so high. Just like this last month with all this heat, all of a sudden
Jack it up
went.
to 85 and leave it there.
I would actually not be. I wouldn't
wouldn't be
hate
too
that.
bad?
I wouldn't hate that actually.
All right, this next story is definitely growing on all of them. To eat them or to look at them or just the idea of them?
I just love. No, to eat.
I mean,
them.
after hearing that story, I love them too.
I love mushrooms too.
Right?
Maybe in your yard, just add
Leave
like a bunch of mushrooms there.
There's
Yeah.
over 10,000 kinds of species,
yeah.
and the mycologists only think that's a fraction of what we actually have on this planet. They're still discovering new mushrooms all the time.
All over the place. Some of them are poisonous, of course. You have to be careful for,
Yeah,
for those.
definitely.
But I feel like mushrooms are really kind of a love it or hate it category. There's no in between.
For food purposes?
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, I feel
That's
like
me. I'm whatever.
you're a whatever.
Whatever.
You could take them or leave
Take
them.
'em or leave 'em.
On a pizza.
Yep.
Take them or leave them.
Take
How
'em or
about
leave
on a salad?
Yep.
Cooked, raw, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can
Sometimes
do-
at the grocery store, if they're on sale, I'm like, okay, I'll get some mushrooms this week. Other
Yeah.
times, like, yeah.
You got to use them fast, though. They kind of go bad in your fridge
do.
pretty quickly.
They do.
Researchers are now investigating, I should say, whether we can increase how much carbon the soil underneath us can actually hold as well. So we'll
Fascinating.
keep in that. All right, on to number 3. Let's talk turtles. Who doesn't love turtles?
Teenage Mutant
Ninja Turtles. In Australia, an endangered green turtle was admitted to intensive care with a stomach
Yeah, this is
full
not the
of plastic. Environmentalists in Sydney say this is
They're floating around or flying around and they nibble at things, they bite things, you have a little piece of plastic, it thinks it's food, and then it collects.
I feel like this is almost kind of a canary in a coal mine situation. First, you see it in the animals, and then next, people are soon going to have
in our
autopsies.
stomachs.
Yeah, autopsies and see.
Well, it was in the birds first. Now it's
Right.
in the fish and the food in the
That's what I'm saying.
sea life.
Animals are more sensitive than us, right? They can sense things better than we can. They're going to feel these effects first before we do. But I mean, we know that we already have plastic all throughout
know.
our system. So will it take until humans are, having autopsies and they'll say, I found a cup,
Here's the
So we do
million-dollar
something.
question. Even if it's that, will it stop?
I don't, that's a
Right?
good question.
Or will plastic continue to be something that we have
Yeah.
to pump out there? I just wish there was a simpler way to make plastic, whether it be bioplastic, that can easily decompose when salt water touches it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or
And that way, if
sunlight,
it's in the
or-
water, it just fizzles out.
Yeah. Or
Like
sunlight or
Alka-Seltzer
something.
or something. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we got facts or facts now. Right now, poor air
Impact your
quality.
mental health. To share more insight on how poor air quality can have negative effects on our bodies, we want to bring in Dr. Susan Clayton. She's with the Whitmore Williams Professor of Psychology at the College of Worcester in Ohio, or Worcester. Dr. Clayton, thank you for joining us this morning. So, first of all, I don't know if a lot of people have heard this term before, eco-anxiety. Exactly what is it?
So it's a term that refers to.
I see what you did there.
Can't say the same about the weather, though, unfortunately,
No,
lately.
the weather, it's like, well, we were talking about this in the meeting this morning that we always have, and it's like if you're not getting the smoke, you're getting the storms
Right.
or the heat. There is nowhere where it's like, you know what, this is
Between 2001 and 2016, the U.S. lost 11 million acres of farmland to development.
And now we got two farmers in Houston. They found a way to blend both development and farming.
Love it.
Together. Instead of homes replacing farmland, their homes are built around it. We've got Scott Snodgrass and Clayton Garrett joining us now with more on their vision called Indigo. Good afternoon, good morning, gentlemen, depending on where you're watching us. I guess you're in Houston, so I guess it's still technically morning for you. But let's go with Scott first and talk to you. You're developing this new neighborhood. How exactly can you incorporate a mostly dense population, but still consider it farmland overall?
So we really
Like this. I just love the concept
Beautiful.
of it. and
Yeah,
it looks
I hope there's
gorgeous,
more people
too.
that do this.
Yeah. Scott Snodgrass and Clayton Garrett, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it and can't
Appreciate it so
wait to
much.
see what else you guys get up to.
I mean, there are other people doing similar kind of,
Yeah.
neighborhoods, which
Yeah.
is great. But if you get more and more of them, if you had the option, I would totally pick this too.
Yeah.
Because it would teach kids how to, farm and
And where
grow
the
their
food comes from. A lot of kids don't know where the food comes
Correct.
from,
Get to work. That's what I would tell them. For more stories like this, make sure you guys check out Pattern on the Weather Channel app, which you can find on Roku. You can also find us on these streaming channels. So coming up after the break, this week's climate heroes have got the power.
Right?
Yeah.
I've got the power.
All right, wait till you hear the extremes they went through to bring.
No, Jordan, pick up your garbage.
It is Friday, which means it's time for this week's Heroes and Zeros.
And this week, Pattern Climate Science producer Ali Van Fleet highlights the people who put in the hard work to help the planet and those who need to step up their game.
Well, just a few weeks ago, a different group of concert goers made our heroes list. We're talking about the Swifties fans of Taylor Swift, made headlines across the country for doing good for the planet by taking public transportation to and from concerts.
I wish I could be that free at any point in my life where it's like, oh, I lost a shoe, no big deal, you know, or I lost this, no big. There was so much stuff.
You could, but you care about what you're wearing, and you care about what you buy, and you care about leaving trash everywhere.
I do, and I think
So
you should
that's
always
fine.
clean up after yourself.
There you go.
All right, let's have a look at the weather with Felicia Combs. Felicia.
Storms have arrived in Georgia.
We've got some storms dashing southward. We got a severe thunderstorm warning. One of those weekends, guys, where people are going to have to plan around the weather.
That they are. Thanks,
okay.
Felicia. All right, here's what's coming up Monday on Pattern. We're exploring different forms of clean energy from solar panels.